All right, so welcome back here to the iWealth podcast. Of course, we are joined by Mr. Brad Connors.
Yeah.
And today we're going to talk about something that has been on my mind. I think that people in general, if you surround yourself with like-minded people and people that you genuinely trust, that is one of the biggest keys to life, right?
Right.
With that being said, I want to take it a little bit further today. And the idea that I had about 2 or 3 days ago here is that every single person that I meet has 1 or 2 or 3 people, and kind of maxes out about 3 people in my mind.
Yeah.
That's kind of like my guy. So, I got a guy for that. Like,
Right.
you hear people say, like, oh, well, you need a plumber. Oh, I got a guy for that, right? And somebody that's close and vetted, and usually they show up and they do a great job with their job.
Right.
And so my question to you is this, is when it comes to I've got a guy, right? How is it with your business where you're surrounded with all of these other professionals all of the time that you can be so helpful to your clients when you literally have like 8 million different clients that you're dealing with? But I kind of have this idea that everyone has 3 people that's like, oh, I got a guy for that, right? So tell me how you're helping your clients on that part of it.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm not helping 8 million. We wish we were, but I'm not. Maybe through our podcast. No, kidding. Totally agree with your statement. I use that statement all the time. I've got a guy.
I've got a guy.
And it's not, stereotyping. There's girls that are involved too. In fact, one of them, I've got a guy, is a gal that's an attorney. So a couple of them. I surround myself with I think are smarter people than me. And I tell clients that all the time. So I call it my professional network. So I create a professional network of advice givers that can help my clients. So when I hit a wall or I get to a spot where I don't know what's the answer is, I'll tell the client I don't know, but I've got a guy, right? And I'll go back to that professional and ask them those questions. So no different than whether it's Angie's List or whatever you see on, right? I think word of mouth and referrals and introductions from people you trust is the best way to go. And I've used you for it. Like if I need to get something done and it's on the video side or audio or whatever, I'm like, Matt, who do you know? And if you tell me to go see this guy or gal, I'm going to do it because I trust you. Same concept.
So it's almost like a little bit like you've formalized what people are usually doing, where they've got 2 or 3 or 4 people that are like their go-to person, whether it be the financial services or plumbing like we were talking about before. But you've almost formalized that process a little bit of I've got a guy, and then you have this small network of people that you're taking problems that are outside of what your specialty is to that small network of people. Am I understanding that right?
Yeah. Yep. And we call it the professional network. And normally there's a CPA, an attorney, property casualty type person, so the financial kind of world that we live in. Someone on life insurance and those type of things that we can kind of bring in and just be kind of the generalist and then bring those specialists in. Think about a doctor's situation, right? So you go to your family practitioner and all of a sudden they think they might find cancer or something. They're going to send you to somebody else, a specialist, to take care of that. We're in that same situation where we've got those people surrounded that we've interviewed, vetted, trust, that we can bring into the picture. And then sometimes the clients have their own people. And then we'll work with those people and we'll get to know them and learn them, and maybe they're inside of that professional network at some point. So it's not like all or nothing, but yeah, you want to have an answer. If somebody's like, I don't know how to put together this trust, or what's a trust mean versus a will or whatever, you want to have somebody that on your team that you can point to say, I've got a person, go talk to this person about that specialty to get things handled and taken care of.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So what's cool about this and what I like about it is, everyone has a guy or girl, like you were saying. But what you're saying is that the people that you have are all specializing within this financial realm. And so it's, I've got a guy, you being the generalist, and then you have your tiny little network of a couple of people that are experts at what they do. And so by knowing you, it's almost like they get the fallout of getting all of the support of some of those other people that are right around you and kind of helping support you, so to speak. Am I understanding that right?
Yeah. And if you think through this, like you're one of the better connectors I know. I mean, your Rolodex has somebody in it that knows something if I need something done, right? And I don't care if it's fix my bicycle, you've got someone to call. If you think about it, the reason why people ask for that is they're just trying to cut down that research and time. They don't want to Google somebody and then call and vet them and things. So if they have somebody they trust, if I trust you and you tell me to go visit this person to get my lawnmower fixed, I'm going to go visit that person, right? Same thing for us. If you trust us and we've been working together for 10 years and now you need something that's outside of our scope, it's so nice to be able to say, Brad, who should I go see? And then we can point you in that right direction, which is a nice thing. And it might be, here's 2 or 3, right? So you want an attorney, here's 2 or 3 attorneys. You go interview them and determine, but all 3 of them would work. You determine who that is. It might be that too.
And so let's go down that road of how do you determine, let's say that you give me 2 or 3 attorneys, so to speak, right? How do you make the decision? Because those are all awkward, especially with an attorney in the room, right? Like, how do you make that decision? Let's say you interview 2 or 3. Like, how do you make that decision? That's an awkward decision to make.
Yeah, it's no different than financial advisor or buying a car.
Okay.
It's right here. Whatever's in your heart, right? So it sounds corny, okay, Matt?
It does sound corny.
But if somebody you trust gives you 3 names of people to talk to, you're going to go interview those 3. They're all, if you've been given 3 names, those people are all vetted already, right? So they're knowledgeable. They can handle your issue. Now it's all about, do you connect with them? When you sit down, and it always should be bring your spouse too. It shouldn't be one-on-one. It should be bring your spouse, because a lot of times Trudy has a better gut feeling than I do, right? And I need to listen to that, and I've learned to do that over time. So when you sit down and have a conversation, it's how do you get paid? See what they say to you. How do you take your clients through this? You know, all those personal kind of questions. How do they interview you? What are the questions they're asking you? Are they generally interested in your reply, or are they just checking a box that they asked you the question? So I'll go with somebody I connect with all day long versus what I think is the smartest person in a room, because they might be super smart, but they might not get through what needs to happen if they don't understand who I am and where I want to go.
Because the super smart people are oftentimes doing things based on what the pattern is, not necessarily what's unique to you. If that's kind of what you're saying. Interesting. Very cool. Well, super, super helpful. I got a guy, I got a girl. It's a fun topic to think about.
It is.
Especially if somebody needs somebody on the financial side. I got a guy. We'll see you back here next time.
Thanks, Matt.